We'll have to circle
We'll come
back
back
on
to
that
it.
one. Okay, let me start that intro all over again. Here on the show, we have some great contributors. We have guys that always show up in chat and suggest things. And one of them suggested that we look at ABB Group and their involvement with now building the infrastructure for Lilium on what's going to be their EVTOL entry into the marketplace. And pretty much that's exactly what's coming from the ABB Group in this discussion that they have released on their website. And it says ABB and Lilium are going to team up for revolutionizing charging infrastructure for regional air travel. And it's real interesting that they should say regional air travel and not just say for urban air mobility, which is great. And so they go into some pretty shallow details, okay? And the shallow details come in essence of giving you a laydown of what this company is going to do from their Switzerland headquarters. And basically they're saying right now that they're looking for a commercial launch of these initiatives by 2024. On top of that, they're going to be in Florida, Germany, and Brazil. Interestingly enough, Florida is the only one mentioned by state, not by country. So they're very specific on that, not any other zones in Germany and Brazil. They're going for the Megawatt fast charging supply and testing infrastructure that they're going to put in place, fully charging a unit in 30 minutes, 80% charge in 15 minutes. That would give them the ability to fly a Lilium aircraft at 20 to 25 flights per day per aircraft, at a range of 155 miles and at 175 miles per hour. Okay, so that's the basic ground laying of that. What do you think just off the start of that? If we've covered so much of the EV world, so much of charging become the possibility for other players in the marketplace. Just hearing that basic information, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so if you guys, just a quick update to kind of just give some perspective. ABB Group, they do tons of other things. So I have their link listed down below as well. You can check them out at their main page. I mean, they have stuff on there, everything from robotics to power supply, metallurgy, low voltage products. They do a bunch of stuff. And so it's good to see that Lilium's making some really great inroads, everywhere for the charging infrastructure. We talked a lot about the hurdles to urban air mobility, air taxis, and we know that Lilium themselves is taking a little bit more of a chunk, a little shot at the longer, the regional kind of part of that sector, which we've also mentioned. They're not quite going for the shorter hops; they're going a little bit for the longer hops. And at least speaking a little bit towards what you mentioned about Florida, we know that they're already trying to put a vertiport in the Central Florida area, south of the big airport there, MCO. We know they're trying to put a few more around that state as well, down I think in Tampa area, or rather over in Tampa area, and then down south as well. And at least I know another one over there. Point being, those are kind of like regional stuff, and this kind of lends its hat straight to exactly what they want to do. They want to get volume out the door and have a bit more of a be able to forecast exactly, again, when flights will leave, be able to be on time, not waiting on stuff to charge because of whatever. And ABB is certainly able to help them with that. And here, I think, I don't know if you mentioned it, but they're coining the term for ABB, the megawatt charging.
Yeah, megawatt. I did. Yep.
Megawatt charging. And so they up there, they're looking to get upwards of the range of 1,000 kilowatts of charge, DC power, eventually when they get everything up and going. And they also mentioned too, I don't know, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but other heavy duty vehicles. So not just actually ABB, not just air taxi stuff, but also maybe heavy duty EV vehicles, maybe trucks and whatnot. So that's I'll be kind of looking for other things from ABB, maybe in other sectors, EV stuff, but other places. Right. So
interesting, you should say that, by the way. When you go to Lilium's website, though, they do list as they're partnering globally with, and they do have ABB Group in there, and then they have, of all things, the city of Orlando, just the city of Orlando. So which centralizes a lot of what their focus is going to be, laying a little bit more credence to them building that network right around the area that we currently live. So interestingly enough, go ahead.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And as we mentioned, other things too, that they're having other issues getting some of these vertiports set up, and a little bit more like not so much like regs, but that'll of course be another thing too. But just like local ordinances, city ordinances, those kind of things, and that's independent of ABB, of course. So ABB is just infrastructure stuff, which is great. It's really good to see that they're looking to bring some of that, maybe what customers could be more accustomed to, like, you go buy a plane ticket, it leaves at, let's say 12:05. Well, it's going to leave at
Right.
12:05 because it's got a
Hmm.
time frame. You want to be, as with any other airline, want to be having some kind of level of customer service for reliability.
Right.
So they really getting ahead of the charging point is perfect for that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
David says, to be exact, like Nona. Yeah, we understand, and I've actually pinpointed through talking to other people inside the industry where that's going to be, believe it or not. But I'm not at liberty to release that exact location. However, here's the other part of it: is with a company.
I may or may not have driven.
Yeah, well, you've already
area.
speculated. You can speculate all you want, but it's pretty easy to see where it's going to go. But here's the other part of it: is ABB Group, right? They have the horsepower, so to speak, behind their development technologies to bring to reality at least the serviceability of getting that infrastructure in place, because they are accurately targeting the three things that are necessary, which is, like Corey said, scheduled service, the ability to repeat, and lastly, making the functional recharging ability operational to the point where it's flawless. And if they get those things worked out, that per seat, per cost, per operating customer value will drop for Lilium. Okay. So when they partner with somebody like this, they obviously have their eyes on the prize, looking forward towards the future of what they consider profitability. A big step, because ABB's got the guts to do this right now. I don't know of the other competitors right now that have that positioning. The other ones that are relying on more traditional power systems or hydrogen don't necessarily need to face up against these particular challenges or hurdles. But the fact that they're forward thinking to 2024, which is about the time that we could expect, hopefully, some sort of certification by the FAA and getting all their other parts together, it sounds plausible, like they could do it to me. And especially with a company like ABB behind them.
Yep. And actually, David, to your comment, they are into robotics.
They're into a lot. Okay.
They're into a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff. So if you go to the website and look at their products,
all over.
I mean, they're in tons of different sectors. So yeah.
Industries and utilities. They've got robotics. They've got plugs and sockets. They've got compatibility breakers. They got voltage regulators. They're literally solar inverters, software. They've got it.
They're in tons.
They're in some stuff. They can even make them.
They're quite an extensive.
So I look, first of all, thanks, David, for the tip, because the fact that they're going to be putting this all together is amazing. Number one. Number two, I think this puts Lilium a little bit further ahead of the competition right now, because a company like this that brings their specialized technologies to this particular problem probably have good solutions. Okay. So that has actually ticked Lilium up a little bit further on my list of all the other, obviously Jet Terra is still on the top. No questions asked when they finally hit the marketplace. But Lilium now just became a very strong second in that argument, and for me at least.
No, I'd agree. Yeah, as we mentioned, some of these big problems that companies, air taxi companies, or regional companies, or short hop, long haul, whatever it might be, for these EV air taxis are going to be things they need to work through. And of course, having somebody like sign on the dotted line that's going to help you with this, that we know, or they know, and we know now, that can certainly come through. Yeah. So yeah, Lilium, again, more watching Lilium. They're still one of the major players. So. No news. No new news. No new news there.
I was gonna say no news. No new news is good news with Gary Gnu. I thought that's what you're struggling with, but and I got it. There you go. All right, folks. Thank you to David for suggesting that. It was a great follow up. Yeah. Really good to see the information that actually came from just a simple press release. The details that they listed, again, to me, emphasize the fact that they've got their eyes on the prize. So look forward for more from this group and Lilium, and let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, follow. And we'd be interested to entertain any more discussion on the matter, and anything you guys can bring to us that we could get out to you. We appreciate it so much. Thank you on that one.